Hi, my name is Kim Rimbey. I am a retired educator turned entrepreneur, and now I spend my days helping teachers teach math better. Before I was in Tribe, I really had a hard time keeping up with everything. I've always been a hard worker, and I am very diligent until a task gets done. And so I was just making myself exhausted because I was working full-time for a school district. And I was still keeping my business going. To me, inside of myself, I didn't feel like a workaholic. It's like not the only thing that was driving me, not the only thing that I loved. But on paper, it did look like it. And that is not how I wanted to enter my retirement years. Knowing that I was going to continue working just with my own business, I did not want those trends to continue of the long hours. I wanted to have time for my husband, for my family, for my friends, just doing the things I love to do. And so I think that's one thing that's really amazing about Lifehack Tribe is that's sort of the promise, is that you get to live your best life without being completely focused on getting your work done. Efficiency is important, but efficiency to the point of helping us have our best lives. Blocking out our personal time first. That was so meaningful to me, and that's not something I had ever done before I joined Tribe. So it just allowed me to hold on to the things most important to me and hold on to the things that make life joyful. You know, now, like I'm spending 7 weeks working in Hawaii right now, but because of Tribe, it is 7:45 a.m. right now. My workday is already finished. I get to spend the rest of today driving around the island, meeting up with friends, and just enjoying the day. Because at 7:45 a.m., my workday is finished. I got up at a normal time, but I only had to put in 3 hours to get a full day's work done, and I'm completely prepared for all 5 workshops I'm doing next week. That's what Lifehack brought for me so that I could run a business, workshop with teachers, and do the joyful things in life in reverse order. Joyful things first, making a difference second, getting the work done third. Before Tribe, I was employed. I actually joined Tribe right as I was retiring after 34 years in public education. I already had a business going, and I was really tired. And I knew that retirement to me needed to include freedom. I was going to continue this business. I was planning to grow this business, and I did not want to work full-time anymore. My purpose for joining Tribe was to get all of my systems and routines in place so that I would be able to truly live a semi-retired life while growing a business and doing it in a really robust way. The kind of cool thing is now 3.5 years later, the business has grown. In fact, it's now 2 businesses, and I have people working for me. Because of Tribe, I was able to figure out how to give some of my work away. That's not something I was ever successful with. So learning how to share my work with an assistant, learning how to share my work with contractors has been absolutely fabulous. Learning how to make SOPs that everybody has buy-in to, both for making SOPs and for organizing work through Asana. Those are probably the 2 most used skills I have beyond the skill of being able to keep my workday to 3 or 4 hours a day when I'm not out in schools doing presentations. When I think about my favorite things in Lifehack, I have to start with my accountability buddy. We just saw each other in the chat box and thought, oh, I think I like this person. And we met up the next week. And you know, it's been 3.5 years. We still meet up every Friday morning and talk about next week's plan. What is our gold star moment going to be for the next week? We're both still pre-planning every week. So I have to say the accountability partner has been key for me. I also, just the weekly pre-planning, the discipline of weekly pre-planning, even when I can't get on the call. I still like getting on the calls. I still like seeing people, and I have friends in there now, right? And so getting on the calls whenever I can, which is not as often as I would like it to be, but I still find a moment in my week to still pre-plan for the next week. I still put in all my personal stuff first and then plan around my work days. I block out my work days and make sure that I have all of my tasks in there, all the things that you all teach us. That has made a huge difference. I also love the monthly pre-planning, the quarterly pre-planning, and the annual pre-planning. And I also have my executive assistant who's able to watch that for me now too, because of the routines that are in place. I went the extra mile, went through boot camp twice, loved everything about that, loved the personalized attention I got, the personalized mentoring that I received, and just the in-depth training. I'm pretty disciplined. I love going to school. I love learning new things. I keep going back to school and getting more degrees, not because I need them, but just because it's fun for me. So doing online courses, same kind of thing. But going through boot camp and going through those courses with the group and talking about them and having interaction made it so much better. Within Tribe in general, and specifically within boot camp, was really encouraging, just having the cheerleaders with each other. All of us have kind of the same desire to be more efficient, to be more effective at getting our work done, and for the purpose of having great lives that I got in boot camp that made everything really come together. I've even paid a little extra to like have one-on-ones with Carrie and Demir because I just needed that extra little boost for something very specific. And I love that there's a way to access them and the coaches. I mean, you guys are all amazing. So I can't say enough about the whole package. My first experience with Demir was just seeing him in his workshops and then, just being in the Tribe meetings with him. And I'm going to be honest, at first, he was a little much for me. And I wasn't sure I was going to connect. I tend to be a little more serious and reserved, very focused kind of person. And he was just so out there, almost over the top. I have to say, though, it didn't take long for me to see the depth behind that. And as soon as he would start talking or he would start coaching someone in a group session, I could see such depth, such wisdom that I knew that this was a good place for me, right? Because I could see how the community responded to him as well. Something I really appreciate about both Demir and Carrie is how hands-on they are in the business, how involved they are, and how much they care about all of us. And it really is evident. I mean, I feel it. I see it. I feel it on behalf of others. I do have to say, with my style and just the way I approach my work, I really have a huge appreciation for Carrie and the way she organizes her work, the way she brings herself to the work that we all do collectively. The courses that she's offered have been so helpful. The times that I've been able to just see her in action, I've so appreciated her wisdom and her thoughtfulness in the way she provides us with guidance and insight. This is the best thing since sliced bread. Please make sure you take advantage of everything.